So Debbie, what are you actually rubbing there?
So this is a piece of titanium which I am cleaning up to get a really good even surface on it, ready for colouring. Titanium is one of the most abundant metals, but you never find it as a metal. It's usually as titanium dioxide or oxide. So it has to be manufactured, and that's why it's so expensive. It's got one of its unique properties, well, not quite unique, in this group of metals, is that you can colour it. It can be done with anodizing, which is putting a current through, or as I do with heat. So I'll just show you how it. So
Oh,
I've
yes,
cleaned that
please.
up, and then I need to make sure it's really clean. So this is meths. Get it really clean. If there was a fingerprint on it, when I heat it, that fingerprint will come out as a fingerprint. So I'm, for this one, aiming to get a really good, a really good even colour. So if you have to be able to get, you have to get it in the right light to see the colour. Can you see that?
Yeah,
colour?
I think that's coming through.
So it's the first colour it goes is a sort of bronzy brown.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So what I'll do with this one, I'll go through all the colours, stopping at one of the last ones. So it goes a bronzy brown, which then goes into purple. And then goes into blue. And then it gets paler and goes into yellow. And then that yellow turns to pink.
And if you just stop, that becomes
So
fixed.
yeah, if I stop now, that's fixed.
Yeah. Okay.
And the longer it's heated, the oxide layer gets thicker and thicker. So the hottest colours are actually quite tough to get off, because it's titanium dioxide's a very tough layer, tough material.
So if you've already stopped it at blue and you heat it again, it would carry on?
Yes, it would. It would, yeah. So now it's going green. And I'm going to leave it at that. It's a bit patchy, but I don't think that matters. I'm going to leave it at that colour, because after that it goes a sort of paler pink, a paler green, and then if you keep heating it too much it goes grey, and that is a very hard thing to get off. You can scrape it all off, but it's
so it's a surface
It's just
finish.
on the surface,
Right.
but it's really tough. Yeah. So what I'll do next is I'll just show you how I... So this isn't a particular piece. So cool it down. And then I have got a lot of templates that I've made for various designs. So I'll do a leaf one for this.
Giving away all your secrets
I know,
now.
I know. So use these burrs. And then using the templates that I've made, I can out the colour. So that has taken the oxide layer off. Don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, we can see that.
Taken the oxide layer off, and now it's back down to bare metal again, to bare titanium again. I don't need to mess it because it should be quite clean. I haven't put my fingers on. So then, now can you see the? Can you see that that's just starting to go brown?
Where you've
where
you've used the tool, yes.
So now the background surface will stay the same until the heat gets to the right temperature, but the leaves that I've burred out,
there it goes to sort of yellowy.
So it's going through that same colour change again as it did before.
I might have said the wrong colour there because I am colourblind.
Oh.
But that's the purple, is it, or the blue?
Purple and blue now.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same Whoops. Same process. So I don't know if you can see this, but the background colour is just starting to creep up and change, so it's not as clear cut as just waiting, and it's also a little bit, well, quite a lot unpredictable as well. So earrings I would have to make two at once, to make them both at once to get them similar.
Okay.
Colour them at the same time.
Yes.
So now I've got a yellow, so I'll do another one.
So now those two leaves, are they? There's a variation in one to the other, isn't there? So one's got a bit hotter than the other.
Yes. So if I had one at this end, I could actually do different colours. I don't tend to do that because you end up in the middle with a variegated one, and I don't quite like to have the solid blocks of colour.
Yeah.
But sometimes it just depends what I'm doing, really.
Well, this is fascinating. And I think even though you've given away your secret, I think there's many hours of practice needed to get to the sort of finish you expect.
Yes, Can
you just now show us a finished example?
Yes.
And just
can you get the brooch out of the square brooch out of the? Do you want me to do another colour?
Yeah,
You can edit this down, can't you? So then, these can be.
I see, one's overlapping the other. Yeah.
And then I might get a smaller burr. I'll just show it without changing the burr, but to do an outline. So that was the one I used for that. I can actually do an outline of the thing, but I haven't used a smaller burr on that, so it's not very tidy, but I'd use a smaller burr and then it's outlined. So then I can heat it again. Can you see that?
Yeah, you see it go. What colour's that gone to?
So now it's gone to a sort of bright blue.
Yeah.
So that's sort of. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to heat it all too much, just to show you what happens.
Okay.
So if I just kept going with this, you can see I do this sometimes with some colourings, so I end up with I'm going to try and make that middle one green and see what the background is. So that totally changes the...
Yes, yeah.
So if I want that what I call an over pink background, that's how I get the green on top.
Right, right.
So that's, yeah. So I've got one that's obviously taken a bit longer. So this one is my...
I think having seen the method, which was a mystery to me.
Right, yeah.
Even though I've been selling them for years. I can appreciate now how the hours you've spent on that, and also the possibility of it going hopelessly wrong.
Yes, occasionally it is a complete write-off. Very, very occasionally, because usually I might start off wanting a yellow background, but it might end up with something else.
Yeah.
So that's why. I mean, and each one obviously is completely different. Because I mean, with something like this, I just set off with the twig branches and then put the buds on, and then just when eventually I think that's finished and stop. Try not to overdo it.
Okay, now we're looking at little rivets there that hold it to a silver back.
Yeah, so these little rivets here. One thing about titanium is it can't be soldered, so I can't solder any fittings on. It can be laser welded, but that's not something I've got. So on the back is a silver piece which has got this fittings soldered on. And I put them up, and then this piece actually, this edge is another piece of titanium.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that gives a nice clean edge. And then I take them all together, drill them through, put the fittings on, and then rivet it to hold it all together.
Is it silver rivet?
Silver rivets, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is maybe a good point to go over to Ian's side of the studio. Is Ian, who does the cutting out and finishing presumably putting the clasp on.
Cutting out, well, that's the first stage really. So that is a piece of titanium which is 0.5 millimetre. It's very hard stuff. So sawing, which is as my saw with a teeny tiny blade, it's very easy to break them. It's partly pre-cut, but it's just how you saw. Beeswax, which helps to lubricate it a little. Didn't break a blade.
I'm glad to hear that. You must get through loads.
This long piece is going to go on a torque bangle that Debbie's making. So I've got to cut the rest out and of course file all these edges to get it a flowing shape. To get a flowing
And
shape.
I'm just going to swing back to the actual bangle. Is this when it's going on?
Yeah.
So this is the silver part. Just incidentally, this is one of the first pieces that I've been able to get hallmarked, because generally all my work there isn't that much silver in, and hallmarking laws means that because it's got metal and other with titanium, it can't be hallmarked. This one is hallmarked, so it's quite novel, is this one. So I've made this in silver, and then this is one piece that's been cut out, which fits in there like that, and I'll colour that and then curve it and then rivet it in.
Okay.
And this has probably got about 8 pieces in. So I actually just make this up as I go along.
Okay.
See what fits. I do the colouring, see how what sort of colours I like, and
And then you're gonna, that's gonna come to Pyramid Gallery.
It is.
As part of our show this year to celebrate 40 years of Pyramid Gallery in York, which we're very grateful for you to supply work for this. But if we go back to the beginnings, you were there at the beginnings of Pyramid Gallery.
This year is our 40th year in business.
Wow.
And Robert Feather, who had Pyramid Gallery, he had just set up Pyramid in Gilligate, and he was our first gallery customer. So he took the work and then eventually bought it, and we've supplied ever since, which has been rather nice.
It's amazing. I mean, it's just overwhelming for me that you're still selling through us. And
yes, I mean our work's changed over the years, and no, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. But you'll be dreading the next question when somebody tries it on and says, "Can I have this a bit bigger?"
Yeah. I have to say, I have found with these that they are very specific to the wearer. Occasionally you get somebody and yes, it fits perfectly. I usually make them to fit me, but actually here I've got, because I have made smaller ones, so I need the wrist to measure. And then when this has been bent round, but when it's flat, I photocopy it, which then gives me I put fits but tight on me. So
okay.
I know that's slightly too small.
Yeah.
That fits me on my right hand, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think this one was a specific one, so it's got 50 by 34 with a 25 millimeter opening. So yes, I can make them to fit, but I do sort of need the wrist.
Yeah.
I did have one where it was for a present and a surprise, and we managed to get the wrist thing, and luckily it worked. But I was a bit nervous.
Yeah, I mean, how many hours in making that bangle?
Well, it probably takes me over a day to make this bit. And get it cleaned up and right. Okay,
I mean, a day is quite a few hours, but I would have thought more.
If I crack on with it, this, because I've got to get it cleaned, but then it will take me at least a couple of days to get all these to fit. And finish. So what I blacken it inside and then polish this. So hopefully it'll come out.
Yeah. Oh well, I really look forward to seeing that on display.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch this off right now, and then we'll do some other things tied onto it.